My name is Tim Pickens. I'm with the Rocket City Space Pioneers. We are a Alabama Huntsville team, and I'm here with Tom Baumbach. He's the president of Dynetics, and Dynetics, I don't know if any of you have heard of Orion Propulsion, but that was my company after I worked for Routine Spaceship One. I started a little company, and we got to about 40 people, and it was part of Tom's business strategy. He bought us, and I'm with Dynetics. So those of you who don't know where I am nowadays or don't care, I'm at Dynetics. So we'll go to the next slide, please. That is my job, isn't it? Okay. By the way, the Rocket City Space Pioneers is made up of a traditional team in some respects, in some ways not. Basically these team members you see here was Teledyne, Draper, VCSI, Andrews Space, Space Flight Systems, and UH. Just from a corporate standpoint, it represents over $1 billion worth of revenue corporate annually. So this is a really unique venue for us in terms of a commercial venture, and this is a really cool thing we're chasing, and I'm sure Tom will tell you more about that, but we got this, in case you guys don't know, Teledyne is actually the guys that built the roll system for the 1X. Draper actually had guys control for a lot of vehicles, including Peacekeeper and actually the Lunar lander, the original one that put our astronauts on the moon. And we got a not-for-profit, VCSI, and Andrews is doing a lot of work with SpaceX. And these guys actually spun out space flight to broker flight services, secondary payload rides, and UH is our local university. And we're going to go, there's me, you guys heard enough about that today, but this is just some of my past history here. And there actually is a lander that we've been working with locally. The team members you saw above, we all built this guy. We're building a warm gas. We're going to get ready to fly here real soon. It'll be a peroxide system, and we're working on a new biprop, but we're doing all kind of cool stuff. And I'll introduce you to Tom, and Tom is all about space and Dynetics, and I'd like to introduce him.
Well, all about business, I got to tell you. We're here today because about 24 months ago or so, Dynetics made a very definitive decision to enter the space business. We hadn't had a lot of space experience. We'd flown a couple experiments on the deck of the shuttle. But in order to do that, we went about two things. First and foremost, we selected a couple areas for emphasis in strategic penetration. One of those was in the small satellite bus arena, microsats, 200 kilograms or less. And we went about investing our employees, we're an employee-owned company, investing their money in an effort, cooperative effort with NASA and VCSI to build what's called FastSat. In 14 months, we went from a paper napkin kind of concept to a space-qualified piece of hardware. It's been sitting in storage, waiting for the next Minotaur 4, and it's going up with a certificate of flight readiness from NASA. It's going up in November on the Minotaur 4. So that was one prong of our strategic imperative. The other prong you see standing before you in the person of Tim. We needed to add some elements to our space strategy, and that included propulsion. So we bought Tim's company, and Tim's company was building a space launcher. In fact, we had this summer, we had a 60-second burn of what we call the M&Ms, a space system that, a launch system that we think can put nanosats into orbit for of the order of $1 million. It was conceived by Tim's company, and we continued that development. And then finally, it wasn't but all that many weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, Tim and Steve Cook, our director of space systems at Dynetics, came and gave me a presentation. Hey, let's go after the Google Lunar X Prize. And I sat patiently and listened to them and said, well, you haven't told me the whole story here. We're a company that's made a profit every month for 35 straight years. We're not about to turn away from that. Let me see your business plan. And they came together and gave me a business plan that I think, in my judgment, is sustainable. It's risky, but they provided me with enough off-ramps that we're not gonna run the risk of losing a bunch of our shareholders' money in this endeavor. Now, you know, like I said, some of you talked about risk. Some of you talked about the fact that it may all go boom before this thing's over. But in that event, I'll tell you, Tim and some of our other team members may be coming hat in hand to see if they can help you, because we're not going to stop pursuing our strategies, but some of them may not come to fruition. But I'll tell you what we are. We're all about, in fact, the team members we selected, we're about building a sustainable space business, and we think the time may be right to do that in the moon. And we've done other commercial enterprise that Tim will talk about. If the business case doesn't make in the next year, like I said, we'll pull up our stakes. But right now, we've hired the right team of folks. We've got the right companies on board, and we look forward to winning this competition, frankly.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is a chart that represents all the cool products that Dynetics has been involved in and is doing, and a lot of it's defense. I can tell you what, the Google X Prize is not a defense initiative. This is as cool as things we've ever done, and it's very out of the box, and it's really excited, by the way, a lot of primes. We've had a lot of people call us since we've entered this. The effect of this has really been interesting, by the way, from a culture standpoint, from a branding standpoint, and the outcome of that will be obvious a little further down the road as we solidify some of these things, because it's you know, when you get lawyers involved and teaming agreements and all that, none of that stuff goes really fast, but there's a lot of cool opportunities. You know, we've done commercial. You know, one of the products we did, and bidding again, is the Bigelow space station, all the propulsion system for the forward system. We developed that, we did it, it's man-rated, AS9100. You know, showing you some past performance, because these are the products, this is what we've done. It's gonna help, you know, sustain the business while we're also doing the Google. And we've got this team working over here on the Bigelow. We've got it over working DOD. We've got them working Google. Right now we've got several of us working full-time Google, by the way. That's a big deal. Here we are. These are, in the last few months, we've test fired over five brand new peroxide engines up to 600-pound thrust. We've done deep throttling way down up to about 70%. Right there in the middle is that booster Tom was talking about. It's a big nitrous ethane booster. We did a 60-second firing, and that down on the bottom right is some ADN, some storables. All these things can be candidates for pieces of this mission. We're doing trade studies right now. We're trying to avoid going high